Hello guys, so on today's video I'm going to show you how to test Gio torpedo or Rosso Q model ATV if you twist in the accelerator handle and the wheels are not responding. So what to do in this case? Well, first of all, this test requires that your battery is supposed to be fully charged up. So turn on your ignition and you must have those 4 energy level bars present. At least 3 of them. 3 out of 4 must be present, because if you have only 2, it's a big chance that controller is not responding because your batteries are too low. So if you don't have any bars or you have minimum of 2, do not follow this test until you see all 4 bars all the way up. So there is a problem with one of your batteries, or maybe more than one. So test your batteries and fix that first. Now once you turn on the ignition, you have the power. Put machine on a forward position or reverse, it doesn't matter actually. And then next step would be you will have to lift up your rear end of the ATV so it will be off the ground. You can put anything under the axle, doesn't matter, as long as you have some clearance. So I'm doing this on the table because it's more convenient for me. Now the first sign that your ATV will not move, you will see the red light on the back of the machine, the stop light. So none of the Rosso or Gio machines will move until this stop light will be off. So in this particular model, the factory they installed this safety cutoff pedal. So as soon as your kid will press this pedal down, the light will turn off, as you can see. Okay, now next would be for you or for any of those people that that have Model Q. If you still see a red light on the back while pressing this pedal, it means that it's either your pedal is not working, which is you can unplug it completely from the controller and you will know if this was the issue. But let's pretend that my pedal is working, but I still see a red light. So that means that one of the brake handles switches that built inside of the handles, they are activated. They are in open position, and that's why it's not turned off. So no matter what, you have to make sure that your rear stop light is not on, because you cannot proceed with any other tests. Now let me show you an example on this brake handle right here. You see this soft wire going into the handle, and this is your safety cutoff switch. So I'm not sure if the camera will show properly, but there is a pin inside, so this lever is actually pushing that switch. If the handle is properly adjusted, it's going to push back all the way. If your cable is stretched and not adjusted, and if it's going to be in open position like this, obviously the inner switch will be in open position. That's why you see the stop light on. In some rare cases, the lever is adjusted, no problem at all, but you still see a red light. Try to lubricate with W40 or any other lubricant that inner pin, and maybe it was just seized up because it's made of plastic. Maybe some of the debris like a mud, sand got inside, and that's why it's in open position. Anyway, the goal is you have to make sure that the light is off. So the Model Q did not have this pedal before. This is the newest 2023 model ATV, and that's why it has this pedal right here. So instead of me holding this pedal pressed, I'm going to unplug it from the controller so I can show you the test, how to test your accelerator handle, and or if you have a problem with the controller. So first of all, you will have to locate the zip tie that holding bundle with wires. Okay, maybe there is going to be 2, more than 1. So you will have to drop all of those wires down so you can identify some of the plugs that you need. Now the next step would be you have to wiggle this thick accelerator handle wire so you know where the end of it. Like in my case, here it is. Now once I located this wire, by the end of the wire I have 3 plugs. On the Q model you might have only 2 plugs. Maybe also will have 3 plugs because they've been converting from 2 to 3 some years. Anyhow, you will need to look for the plug with the 3 pins right here and unplug it. Okay, unplug it. Now once you unplug this 3 pin, it's gonna say throttle on that plug. This is the one that you need. You're gonna have 3 color wires, red, black and the gray. So never touch the black one, but you just need the red and the gray, so on both edges of the plug. So you will need a metal, in my case this is just a basic piece of wire or paper clip. So I'm going to shorten those 2 wires together, the gray and the red one, with the ignition on. So you still must see ignition on, the display on, and the machine must be on forward or reverse. It doesn't matter. So don't forget to lift up the rear end of the ATV, and don't forget that your light must be off. So as I said before, instead of holding the pedal pressing with my hand, I'm going to follow this wire that's coming out from the pedal and unplug it, which is right here. As soon as I unplug it, the light will be off. Now the only time the light will be on if I press the brake handle on one of the left or right handle, as you can see. Okay, now if you don't have this pedal but you still have a red light, follow the cable, the soft wire that's coming out from the brake handle. Wiggle it so you know where it's coming to and from, like in my case right here, and unplug it. You will see word brake by the end of the plug. So unplug it one by one. So start with the right side, unplug it, look on the back if you see the stop light on or it's off. If it's off, then you know that you need this side of the handle to be replaced. But if you unplug the right hand side brake lever and the light's still on, well, follow the same wire on the left hand side, wiggle it and unplug it. Once you unplug it, look on the back of the machine if the rear light's still on. If it's off, well, then you know that you need the left handle to be replaced, because unfortunately that sensor which is built inside of the handle, they don't sell those separately, they sell them together as a complete assembly. Well, at least on the previous models, maybe on the newer ones it's going to be different. Anyway, so again, if you have a rear stop light on, machine will not move and this test will not be valid. So in my case, the rear stop light is off. The only way it can be on again if I press it. And then I'm taking this paper clip, looking for that 3-pin plug that says throttle, and connecting 2 wires, which is together, gray and the red. If I'll touch this those 2 wires inside, my wheel's supposed to spin at full speed, if there is nothing wrong with my switch, obviously, because this is another potential issue. If there's any of the wires are loose on that switch of this, or if this switch is defective, it will not pass power to the motor. So in my case, this is a new machine, so everything is working, and that's how it's supposed to work on your machine if the controller is good. Okay, so this test is proving that I overrided the accelerator handle plug, which is this 3-pin plug. I override it, and I proved that controller is responding on my paper clip and controller is in working order. Now, if you connected those 2 wires together, and the rear wheels did not spin. That means that controller is not responding. You either have a, have to replace the controller itself because it's defective, or in some cases it can be a problem with this switch. So let me show you. This is the switch, which is underneath of the plastic body. So my advice would be to remove the plastic body and inspect, because if one of those wires is loose or broken, the controller will be sending power to the switch, but it's not going to go anywhere because one of the wires is loose or broken. And obviously you're not going to, the motor, which is behind the switch right there, it's not going to receive any energy. So check if none of the wires are loose on this switch. Same with the switch itself. If one of those nuts that holding this switch, like on both sides, is loose, and this switch will come apart because it's built with couple blocks, 1 2 3 4 5 6 blocks. So it's pressed together with this yellow stud and the nut. So if one of those nuts get loose, then the switch will fall apart and you will have a loose contact internally. Now, how often does it happen? I don't think it's happened that often, unless during the assembly that particular assembler did not tighten it properly, or the switch might fail also if you left that machine outside without any cover, and lots of rain, moisture got inside internally, and rust damaged that switch, so it will not be passing power. But try to click it. It's supposed to click firmly, and you're gonna feel pretty good resistance under your fingers. Look if that switch is not wobbling, and try, if it's not passing power on a forward, switch it to the reverse. Maybe one of the contacts, like either forward or reverse, will do the job. Anyway, switch is a really rare case, I would say, but yes, it's happened that you need to replace it. Now, for the people who own a Model Q, Rosso Model Q 1000 watt ATV, you might have a controller with not this 3-pin plug, but a 4-pin plug. So what to do in this case? Well, it's the same story. Just shorten the red and the gray wires, and you will know if your controller is good and the wheels are spinning, or it's not responding, maybe due to switch, the forward, neutral and the reverse switch. Now, if your switch look perfect and you don't see anything wrong after you remove the body, and you don't know how to do the continuity test, even though that I have a video about that on my channel, so you can type Rosso ATV continuity test. But for those people that don't have a multimeter and they don't know how to test it, they got confused with the test, my advice would be remove this blue wire that go into the switch and remove this yellow wire. Now put back black ones, because the black one's supposed to be attached where it was, and same on this side. So you're just going to remove this yellow and the blue one. Everything is supposed to go back in place and make it tight, and connect this yellow and the blue wire to the back of the switch here. On the back of the switch you will see that this red and the black wires are going to be connected from the motor. You see there's two wires, red and black. Those are the wires that you will see on the back of the switch, nothing else. So you will need to connect this yellow and the blue wire, doesn't matter which one is yellow up or yellow down, connect them directly to this black and the red motor wires. So you will avoid this switch if you don't know how to test it, or if you're not sure if it's working or not. Once you connect this yellow and the blue and the yellow wire to the red and black and twist the handle, you will see if the wheels will respond or not, or if you will override this jumper. If you will jump those two wires on the plug directly, you will see if the wheels will respond. If your wheels will respond with the handle or with overriding the plug, then you know that you need a new switch. If it was not passing power before. Now the 3-pin switch that you see, you will have to put back in place. Sometimes look inside, maybe you just have a bent one of the pins, and that was the problem. Maybe one of the loose wires inside of the plug, maybe that was original problem. Look if there is no internal rust and no bent pins. Put everything back in place, try again. Sometimes all you have to do, just wiggle those plugs and the machine will work like it should. Okay, well, this is it. Thank you. Bye.